Impeccable musicianship displayed through silky horn, aromatic groove, combined with animated vocals and eye-popping album covers, made this group one of the most distinctive and striking funk bands of the 70s. Although this band formed in the late 50s as a backing band for the Falcons and later scored their first charted single in 1968, it wasn't until they was over a decade into their existence before they truly hit their stride for both creatively and commercially. The centerpiece of today's video is about the greatest group coming from Ohio and also the greatest funk group to ever exist. Before we start, let's be sure to leave a like on the video, subscribe to the channel, and push that notification bell to be sure you won't miss out on any more content. Now without further ado, let's cue that intro. This story begins in my hometown of Dayton, Ohio. Now back in 1959, when a group that was originally dubbed as the Ohio Untouchables and initially comprised of singer and guitarist Robert Ward, bassist Marshall Rock Jones, saxophonist and guitarist Clarence Satchel, drummer Cornelius Johnson, and trumpeter and trombonist Ralph P. Reed Middlebrooks. In late 1961, a relative of Ward founded the Detroit-based Lupine Records, and the group traveled to the Motor City to back up the Falcons for their hit I Found a Love. The Ohio Untouchables soon made a headlining debut with the song Love is Amazing.
Your love and is amazing.
Soon after, Ward left the group to pursue a solo career, and this left the group to this band. Now, at that point, the rest of the members that consisted of Middlebrooks, Jones, and the newly added guitarist Leroy Sugarfoot Boner returned to Dayton, where they recruited saxophonist Andrew Nolan and drummer Greg Webster. By 1967, the group added singers Bobby Lee Fears and Dutch Robinson, and the newly rechristened Ohio Players was born. The band signed a deal as the house band for Compass Records, backing singer Helena Ferguson on her lone hit Where's the Party, before issuing a solo debut single in 1958, which hit the R&B charts, peaking at number 50 with the song that would become known as Trespassing. Although the group's trademark bottom-heavy horn-driven sound was already blossoming with a follow-up single, It's a Crying Shame, the song didn't move them forward.
It's just a crying shame. Just a crying shame.
The label was on the edge of bankruptcy, and so they exited the label. The band then landed on Capitol Records, where they released the album Observations in Time, with hit songs Summertime,
Your dad is rich. Yeah, and your mom
and Over the Rainbow.
up high.
Now this album offered the strong hints of the stylistic detours that the group was soon to follow. In 1970, the group disbanded. However, Fears and Robinson both mounted as solo musicians, while the remaining members again went back home to Dayton, Ohio, eventually reforming later on in the year with new members, keyboardist, vocalist, and songwriter Walter Morrison, trumpeter Bruce Napier, trombonist Marvin Price, and another vocalist Dale Allen. Influenced by the groundbreaking funk of Sly and the Family Stone, the new Ohio Players lineup made a debut with the Morrison-fronted single Pain.
Pain is in my heart.
Now this song was issued on a small local label titled Rubbertown Sounds. This song was soon picked up for distribution by the Detroit-based label Westbound Records, reaching the R&B Top 40, cracking the pop charts in late 1971. Now, some people may not know this, but Ohio is a very important destination in music history, especially the cities of Dayton and Cincinnati. The group's gold-selling album titled Pain was released in 1971, and it was followed by the 1972 top 10 R&B album Pleasure that featured the hit Funky Worm.
When he walks, he gets down, but when he comes out of his hole, he sounds something like this.
Now, this song peaked at number 1 on the R&B charts, also peaking at number 15 on the Billboard Hot 100 charts. Now, the latter will be sampled on dozens of rap songs, most commonly on the West Coast G-Funk Productions. Ecstasy featured the top 20 R&B track of the same name in 1973. The group then moved on to Mercury Records, and the label changed their lineup with adding keyboardist Billy Peck, who replaced Morrison, and drummer Jimmy Diamond Williams, who took over for Webster. At Mercury, the Ohio Players enjoyed their greatest success. Not only did their sound coalesce, but they became notorious for their sexually prerogative album covers, a tradition that began with their Westbound tenure. Their 1974 Mercury debut, Skin Tight, was their first uncritical classic, launching the hit title track that peaked at number 2 on the R&B charts and number 13 on the pop charts.
Running folks in ditches.
Followed by Jive Turkey that peaked at number 6 on the R&B charts. The group's follow-up single, Fire, remains the group's most masterpiece, topping the pop charts on the strength of its bone-rattling title. I Want to Be Free was one of the band's biggest ballads and became their 5th top 10 R&B single.
I'm gonna be free. Yes, I am. Oh.
In 1976, the group released their last number 1 R&B hit with the song Ohio. The 1975 album Honey, which featured the group's most controversial and erratic album cover to date. This album generated another masterpiece, generating the chart-topping master hit Love Roller Coaster. In addition to the hits Sweet Sticky Thing and Fop. The insistent Who She Cool from the 1976 album Contraction was the Players' last number 1 R&B hit. The song Ohio for the 1977 album Angel was their last major hit to chart on any charts. In 1979, 3 members of the group went on to form a new group named Shadow, which went on to release 3 albums. Later that year, the Ohio Players encountered financial mistakes and professional conflict regarding disagreements for growth and development that was unable to resolve their disputes, and the group disbanded in 1980. A reconfigured Ohio Players group recorded throughout the 80s, enjoying a minor hit single with the song Sweat. They also released 3 more albums that same decade with Tenderness, Ouch, and Graduation, along with Orgasm in 1993. In August of 2013, the Ohio Players was inducted into the Rhythm and Blues Hall of Fame. Now, although the Ohio Players haven't recorded a studio album since the 90s, they have continued touring into the 2020s, with Billy Beck and Jimmy Williams remaining from the core lineup. Bandmates and former bandmates of the group that we had lost along the way included Clarence Satchel, who passed on December 30th, 1995, Ralph Middlebrooks, who passed on November 15th, 1997. Robert Ward passed on December 25th, 2008. Cornelius Johnson passing on February 1st, 2009. Leroy Boner passing on January 26, 2013. Marshall Jones passing away on May 27th, 2016. Junie Morrison passing away on February 21st, 2017, and Greg Webster passing away on January 14th, 2022. Now, despite their brief success in the mid-70s, the Ohio Players combined R&B, jazz, and funk to create a legacy that would influence numerous of bands that followed them. After 60 years in the industry, this group is still rocking stages that they come across today. Now, before we go, I have a few questions for you all. What is your favorite group or artist from Ohio? Also, what is your favorite song from the Ohio Players?